the House Oversight Task Force holding a hearing on DEI in law schools. The president of the American Bar Association, as you saw there, did everything but provide a straight answer during the intense questioning by committee members. The concern focused on how the ABA has been overrun by radical leftists who prioritize DEI over merit in both law school admissions and the legal professions. Nikki, I'm going to come to you first on this one. What I love about Brandon Gill is he and Scott Jennings are so similar in what they do. They ask simple questions, they stand back, and they let the leftists make fun of them, just completely hang themselves. And he spoke to Bethany Mandel recently for the Washington Examiner, and you saw that there. He doesn't yell. He just simply asks questions and gets out of the way. You still create the sound bites, but you put the focus more on the witness.
Yeah, and you're using their own words against them. This is actually a very timely hearing because the American Bar Association is up for reaccreditation this fall in front of the Education Department. And as we know, they have gotten way outside of their lane. This is not just, is this a good law school? Is this a bad law school? Over the past couple decades, they have injected a number of standards into legal education, which is what Congressman Gill was getting at. They have had in place Standard 206, which mandated affirmative action hiring. In the wake of President Trump winning, they tabled that, but they didn't actually get rid of it until this year when we put them on blast. And they are now they're now considering getting rid of Section 303C, which is something that was put in place after George Floyd that mandated a DEI coursework. And so my organization has identified 72 universities, law schools, that have students that have to take DEI classes. That means they're not taking contracts or something else important, but they're learning about bias. They're learning about this stuff. I want a lawyer who's really excellent at their job. I really don't care how they feel about implicit bias or any of these other nonsense words. I want someone who will get me out of jail when I'm in a pinch or get me out of trouble with the IRS. And so this is a long overdue reckoning. And the ABA, I think, for so long has thought that they walk on water. And this is a real slap in the face to them. And
Mercy, real quick, these people are just unrepentant, as you saw in that soundbite there.
Right. Well, for the record, Nikki's not going to jail. But it really, like the ABA president, she was like you could tell she was like thinking it through, like, wait a second, this is not my talking point. He's getting me off my talking point. This is a problem. But the reality is that it is exposing the complete bias coming out of the ABA, which is their obsession with diversity, not their obsession of creating the best lawyers. No,
they
it's
also
about
care about creating
systemic
really
racist courses, which are not necessary to go to law school. I'm so sorry, or during law school.
I just think that like some of these questions, like I can understand why he did this. There's a reason we're talking about this. It created a viral moment, but not everything can be just reduced to yes or no. And so that's his like latest kind of tactic for these hearings.
Is this a qualified judge or not?
Yeah, it was a qualified judge or not.
Justice Kavanaugh is unqualified because he's a Republican. I mean, these people are insufferable.
And I want to get to this one really quick. Congressman Jim Jordan had to get in on the fun as he grilled the ABA president on their so-called nonpartisanship.
You said that the American Bar Association is a nonpartisan organization. Is that really true?
Yes, sir, it is.
I've never heard of a nonpartisan organization that's for unrestricted abortion, no detention for people who break our immigration law, and who want men and women's sports. I've never heard of a nonpartisan organization adopt those positions. You still say you're nonpartisan?
I do, sir.
Wow.
Alex, I mean, this one was just remarkable. He also asked, was race a factor in KBJ's selection for the Supreme Court? And she said no.
Which Biden openly said that it was.
Right, exactly.
So that kind of disqualifies that. But, it's interesting to me to see these arguments coming from these individuals themselves, because often you hear it from the outside progressives, and the intent there is to break down the legitimacy of these organizations by saying their very founding is racist, that they have no moral clarity to move on with whatever they want to kind of push forward. To hear it coming from within the institution is really mind-boggling to me, because they're essentially saying that we don't have any authority and that we're built on something that is immoral.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, Nikki, real quick, is Congressman Gill also talks about the Smithsonian and white supremacy, and he also there was a viral moment talking about Mickey Mouse as well. So Congress is on a roll with this. This is definitely a thing that the base gets really excited about. For all of our fights on the right now, things like this could definitely bring us together.
Absolutely, and I think it really shows how deep the tentacles of progressive ideology have infiltrated everything. Outside organizations, accreditors, like I used to joke, right, the education industrial complex is captured. This is everywhere, and progressives are not giving this up without a fight.
Information. Truth is freedom. is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.